Hi, I'm Kay from the Immigration People. If you have been following our channel, you will know that we are a private immigration consultancy firm in Singapore, assisting in applying for Singapore PR, citizenship, and work pass application. Sometimes we do help corporate company and partner in assisting them in this area too. Today, we're very happy to have invited one of our corporate service provider, Mr. Dennis Paul, which is the founder and CEO of Legacy Private Limited. So he'll be sharing with all of you about our partnering experience with the immigration people. Hi Dennis, thank you for taking time to join me today. I know that you have a very packed schedule. In fact, right, we were supposed to do this few weeks back, but both of us are so busy. Finally, we have time to do this.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it has been quite a bit of time, since then, and I believe because the borders are opening up, and there's a lot more queries coming. I'm sure it's the same thing for you.
Yes.
It is the same thing for us, but I think busy is good, right? So, not complaining about it, but very happy that we both finally got to sit here and then talk about how we can help the clients. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure if you know, but the immigration people was started during the pandemic as well. At the beginning, there were quite a lot of people who were quite worried.
Yes.
Yeah, that starting a business during the pandemic is not easy. But one lucky thing is that a lot of our clients are referred to us through word of mouth, and due to the nature of both our businesses, so it did not take much impact on our business.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. So, Denise, would you like to share with our viewer a bit more about your company?
Sure. So, hi everyone. So I'm Dennis. I'm the founder and CEO of Legacy. We are a corporate service firm based in Singapore. We started in 2018. That was way back before COVID, right? And we started with only like 2 or 3 staff. We were only focused on corporate secretarial, which is like incorporating company, doing corporate advisory service, stuff like that. But over the years, we went into like accounting, tax, bookkeeping, and ultimately now we are also doing this chief of staff service. The reason being that our mission was very focused on helping the founders, the key executive, and even like CEOs, right, in executing their vision. And that's how we came about. Our staff strength has grew to about like 11 by now. So quite happy to share that with the audience also that we moved to a new office.
Yeah, that's a very nice office. Very big office that you have here.
Thank you. Yeah, hope you like the office. I actually
Yes.
wanted to take this chance to also invite Kay to see the office because we work together.
Yes.
So that's a great news. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Dennis. Do you remember how we were connected?
Yes, I did. Actually, I was referred to you by Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adam.
So Adam was a good friend, and I remember the days that we were looking for a partner, someone to be able to help our clients, to take care of our clients. You were right. I think we were referred by Adam during the pandemic,
Yes.
and that was a time that I think it was very busy, right? And
Yes.
MOM is like changing rules and
Regulation was changed. Yes.
it wasn't easy for the clients to understand what they need to do. And I was glad that of course Adam connected you to us, you to me, yeah. So that was definitely very helpful for our clients.
Yeah. And then I remember that back then you have a client, right, which is this company called iLytics.
Yes.
Yeah, they wanted to apply for EP for one of their staff. And we are more than happy to actually offer our services, and thankfully the EP was approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. I thought maybe to also highlight that Analytics actually is a startup from the NUS, right? So when we talk about startup coming from NUS, we talk about like very local base and stuff like that. But of course, we do have quite a bit of clients from the NUS also having a foreign background, right? So their background actually requires them to look into work pass and stuff like that.
Yes.
I think, and it was very critical for their operation.
Yes,
so
you're right.
I'm glad that you took well care of them, and that I know they're very happy. They told me about it.
Right.
So
Thank
that
you.
we work hand in hand in that sense.
Yeah, I think that we tackle the client together with our
Yes.
collective experience. We help them both in incorporation and then tax and accounting, and for me will be all the work pass requirements. Talking about expertise, I have listed down some of the commonly asked questions by our foreign client who interested to set up a company in Singapore. perhaps you can take these opportunities to share with our viewer who might be keen to, become a business owner in Singapore.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah?
Yes.
So the first question is that, why should I start my business in Singapore?
This is a very good question. This is a very common asked question, especially we talk about like for foreign clients, right, looking into coming to Singapore. The thing is, there's a lot of option out there actually, right? There's places like, of course, like Hong Kong,
yeah.
Dubai. Now of course Singapore is one of the very popular options. Of course, we talk about the factors about the country itself is one thing, right? But other than that, we also talk about like doing business, right? Doing business where across Asia. I think you see the thing is Singapore is recognized as a very popular global hub for expanding into Asia, and also we talk about like banking, the banking convenience, and also the restriction on investment. For like whether if a foreigner can actually own shares in Singapore company or not. Of course, by default, it is open for anyone to come in. To actually start a company for foreigners. So it's actually a very popular options. In that sense here. So I definitely would encourage the clients to look into like Singapore as a place to actually set your base up.
All right, good. But what are the things to take note for foreigners who wish to set up a company in Singapore?
Okay, so the very first thing to take note of is that you need to understand the requirements of having a company, right? So to set the company up, you need three things. First, you definitely need a local director, right? Of course, there are firms that provide this service, and that we do help our clients in that, but we do very heavy KYC due diligence check. Of course,
you
because
have to. Yeah,
it's a requirement. Not easy actually, right? But we do assist our client, right? Then from there, there's also the requirement for having a local resident company secretary. Yeah, so these are more of a. This is where providers, what we call corporate service providers, actually can provide this service. We are actually registered with ACRA, so we actually provide that service. And lastly is the registered office address. So you see, the registered office address for most of the clients, they could be overseas and then they are not here yet, but they could actually use service providers the registered office address, right, as to do this up. But eventually, if they look into having their own office, they can always change it.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is like the bare three minimum requirements, right, to get started. Yeah.
What about paid up capital? Yeah, how much paid up capital I should have if I would like to set up a company in Singapore? I heard that you can set up with just $1,
Yes.
but I think with $1, MOM definitely will not give you an EP. Yeah.
You're definitely right on this. I think. Of course, the thing is that when you consider paid up capital for the company, right, at the beginning, if you are looking at first to get the entity up first and running, right, you're right, like $1 for a company does work to set it up. That's not an issue. But and you're right also on the point that if you're considering to actually get like a work pass, so if you get work pass into Singapore, you definitely need to have a higher paid up capital.
Yeah.
And the paid up capital, of course, this is the part usually I consult you about how much do we need and stuff like that, right? So
normally, maybe I can share with our viewers.
Yes, please.
Normally, we will encourage you to have a substantial amount, perhaps 2 years of your operating costs per annum that you should have, so that you have enough money to actually run the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the heavy factors of like the MIM look at.
Yes.
Right? So I think this is very important to say. I don't know, again, because back to the you mentioned that minimum requirement is like $1, no problem, right? It is for the perspective from like our side, right, in setting up the company, but that's only a start.
Yeah.
Right? You can still update it. It's not a problem.
Yep.
Once it's updated, you can always look into getting the work visa going.
All right.
Yeah.
Got it. And with this, right, would you say it's easy to set up a company in Singapore comparing with other countries?
I would say that it is, with the convenience of actually doing this over the online calls, we still need documents that are notarized, by the notary public in the relevant country, right? But other than that, we talk about doing the setting up itself, right? There's a lot of companies that start using like electronic signature, you know. So we are a firm that we adopt that practice also. So after doing the KYC, you know, and getting the relevant documents, we draft the documents, we circulate them for the client's review, and then get it signed. And then next thing is we can just file with with Accra itself to get going with the incorporation.
Oh, so they don't have to be physically in Singapore to set up a company.
Exactly. So they don't have to actually fly in here, but do take note again, the documents, the requirements of documents are definitely not so fast and easy to get done with, right? So it's something to look at for that. But that's only one of the factors. The incorporation done, that's a baby step, first baby step, right? The next step is actually opening a bank account.
Yeah.
That is a big question, I must say.
Yeah, that is another challenge. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
For that, I would say the banks in Singapore now actually, allows doing the online verification call. But the banks also do ask that, do you have physical presence in Singapore? You know that the banks. I mean, there's been a lot of cases of like, with this, the whole world is changing, right? The regulation also changes, and it becomes very sensitive of like, anti-money laundering, like checks, right? Or CFT, right? Counter financial terrorism, right? So the thing is, there's a lot of concern in that, and that's why when the banks check this, right, they ask questions like this, they need to see there's some substance, right, in the company and stuff like that. So it's very important to think of that.
So they're just checking to make sure your business is legit.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
and then you're clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is that they do it over online. They can do it over online. So I want to give the comfort to the audience that you can actually do these calls over online and get all the paperwork done even without flying in yet. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, in fact, the whole EP process, we are able to help our client to file the EP application when they are not physically in Singapore. Upon approval, then you can come to Singapore to actually complete the steps, do the issuance as well.
Yeah, actually, I want to catch on that point also. I think it's very important, right, that the audience know that for EP application itself, right, the banks actually sometimes ask, so you have intention to come into Singapore, right, to start business and stuff like that. So, how about your EP application? Since you're saying you're coming here, right? So that actually shift the priority in a sense that the EP application becomes the first priority. Then we talk about the bank. So I know that's a chicken and egg problem. Of course, depending on situation. I think that is the challenge here also, that best to consult both of us, of course, right?
Yeah, that's right. So that's our expertise to really advise our client and how to do it properly without jeopardizing their chances of getting EP.
Yes.
Yeah. Normally, how long does it take to incorporate a company in Singapore?
Well, I would say it takes not more than a week. With the processes of getting documentation and stuff done, right? Especially with e-signing also, it's make it much more convenient, I would say, right? So I expect not more than 1 week. Of course, it depends on how fast the clients usually
send documents to you.
Yes,
also.
exactly.
Yeah. Both way, right?
Both ways, yeah.
Now, Denise, from time to time, we do share with our viewer on how they can choose a good immigration service provider. Yeah. Do you have any tips to share with our viewer on how they can choose a good corporate service provider?
Yes, actually, the thing is, I would say good service provider, right, is subjective in that sense that I believe every business is unique, right? And that I don't believe that the services provided by corporate service providers are like, has similar, like basic fundamentals to cover. There are things that must be done, but because it's a service, right, it should be catered towards what the business are doing now. So I would say, I know it sounds vague, right, but that there are some business that needs more attention, that needs to speak to someone more, right? Like you could be a startup that you're raising funds, and that with that raising of the funds itself, right, it's a lot of questions, right? You definitely need a lot of professionals advisory on that. It could be financials. It could be we talk about compliance. It could be on how to complete the investment round itself. I think that will change the point on how you actually, that differs from one corporate service provider to the another, whether who can actually provide that service to you. Of course, there's also the need. I say sometimes you need it to be set up urgently and quick, right? There are service provider that fits very well for it.
Very quick.
Right? Yeah, but there is the type that you wish to plan it, like lay out properly, and you need some more time to build it up, right? And there's a lot of advice you need to seek. Then you have to speak to service providers that are, I would say, more, into the area of being able to provide that advice to you. So not every corporate service providers are the same. They're all, I look at it, they're all different. But pick the one that you definitely need to go a long way with. That your business allows, of course.
Yeah. So I guess what you're trying to say is that each corporate service provider have their own USP.
Yes.
And you need to find the one which is good at what the client needs,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
And what they want. Maybe you can share a bit about your USP then to
of
our
course.
viewer. Maybe something that you specialize in. So if our viewer is, exactly the target audience that you want, and then it fits.
Yeah. So I would say this is sort of like my on my side that I do, right? Other than of course doing my day-to-day, I actually educate. I teach startups. I like to go into that area because I believe that from the way of education, right, we can impact the industry all the way through, right? So with that being said, of course, I help a lot of startups. It could be technology. It doesn't matter. Is it a technology company? Starting companies, right, is one thing. Of course, we serve quite a number of companies that is attracted investment, and they need to really get it done properly. This is where we come in. So we serve very well into this type of companies that needs niche advisory.
Denise, thank you so much for your sharing today. You have shared so generously, and even myself have learned something today. Yeah, we should actually get together more in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I think, the thing is that business networking is definitely very important. I mean, that's how we got about to, come together and work together, right? So definitely look forward more to that, yes.
Yes, and I definitely look forward to more collaboration opportunity with your company.
Definitely.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you need help in work pass application, you can look out for the immigration people. And if you need help with incorporating a business in Singapore, you can look out for Legacy. All you need to do is just search Legacy on their LinkedIn profile. Before you go, if you find the video useful, you can click like and share. And if you're new to our channel, just click the subscribe button so you will not miss out on our weekly new content. We'll see you next week. Bye!